they've been reading my mail, which I don't like. I'm looking at some people acting kind of peculiar here in front of Macy's in Seattle, Washington. And the apparent problem is that they have no desire to move. They seem to be, I don't know, curious. Oh, so anyway, they've been reading my mail, like I said, and other things. So I can't say. Hey, tomorrow's Black Friday. Guess what's interesting about the word Black Friday? It can denote two things. It can denote, well, the time when businesses develop a profit. Up until Black Friday, they don't have profit. Or that they got loss. All right, that's one thing. That's one schematic. The other schematic is that, consider the Black Monday, the Wall Street crash in 1929. Well, that was all about everybody losing their money, everybody losing their shirts, they jumping out the windows. So, oh my God, I'm broke. Oh, where's the window? Shit like that. That was 1929. That was I think that was Black Monday. So anyway, yeah, then the Depression began soon afterwards. And there's also a kind of there's a terror group circa early 1970s, maybe 1960s. Black September, that's what they were called, yeah. They were pretty efficient in their endeavors. I think they're the ones that did Munich. Munich they had the Olympics in 1972, and anyway, the Israeli athletes were in their places where they were supposed to be, their dormitory, and then these terrorists, these Black September group, came in with machine guns, weapons, and anyway, took the Israeli athletes hostage, killed several of them, and then they got away with it scot-free. How? They masqueraded as the hostages. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They blended in. They got away. So, anyway, the movie Munich, Steven Spielberg directed that movie. The Israelis took some Mossad agents, that is their intelligence service, and said, we are going to authorize you to go and kill those who killed our athletes in 1972. They were hired assassins, but they could be, they weren't necessarily connected to the Israelis because they were officially not there. They got paid through a safety deposit box. In the same sense, all these black things I'm talking about, there's the ubiquitous Black Sunday, and that came with, a constructed terror plot from the air. And this terror plot from the air, utilizing the technical services of a Navy aviator, sort of like John McCain, but different. Bruce Dern was in the film. But anyway, what happens is they try to use some use a massive bomb, basically, constructed of C4, and put it to the bottom of the blimp, the Goodyear blimp, and it would hover over the stadium, football stadium, and during the Super Bowl, Super Sunday, and then they would detonate the device. It's like a giant claymore. It had all these ball bearings in it, and this would basically kill everyone in the stadium simultaneously. Right? So, it didn't happen because the Israeli agents, Mossad agents, in this fictional film called Black Sunday, found a way to hook the blimp to a helicopter and drag the blimp away, and then release the blimp in such a way as it could be detonated over over the Hudson, killing a bunch of fish. But the Hudson's wide, remember, so it didn't hurt anybody really. Of course, the Israeli agent. I can't remember who played the Israeli agent. He died. He sacrificed himself. Now, in the same vein, there was actually today reported a Israeli soldier was killed because of violence in Gaza. It was reported on AP. And today's date is, of course, November 22nd, 2012. And the moral of the story is, you never know what's going to happen until it happens. If it happens on your watch, you better be ready. So I'm just warning you in advance that by virtue of the fact that tomorrow is, of course, November 23rd, and by virtue of the fact that it is a ripe candidate for, well, let's just say disruptive activities, and to include death and dismemberment, chaos, all hell breaks loose, you should be apprised and aware of any kind of abnormal activities, strange events. I have noticed of late there is a lot of yellow, sort of a pasty yellow being displayed. Now there was a time when everything seemed like stripes. Now it's all pasty yellow. Now the question is, what does that signify? It signifies something. So I'm just telling you in advance. The pasty yellow probably relates to today, Thanksgiving, because you remember what is Thanksgiving famous for? Well, for gravy. Well, most gravy is kind of yellowish. If it's chicken gravy or turkey gravy, and also white meat, of course, is usually kind of yellow, sort of a tan yellow. I just had some turkey and gravy and some stuffing. So I'm telling you is that if you look through the archives, and you'll see there is a tendency to use color as a code for activities that you do not want discovered. And one of those is yellow. A friend of mine, when I was in Virginia, I do work for the CIA, don't you? Operations Officer Windfall, codename Windfall, real name Satan, was actually denoted in certain historical references. Think of the yellow cross of David that the Jews were forced to wear when they were being rounded up to be executed by Hitler. It was a yellow Star of David. That's very significant, I think. Remember, there's a cooling down period vis-a-vis the ceasefire. The ceasefire was instituted yesterday at the request of the United States and with the agreement of Egypt and, of course, the participants, Hamas and Israel. But this cooling off period is a kind of unstable precedent, because I don't think there's ever been a ceasefire when there was a 1 day cooling off period, and I'm suspicious. So to hit the nail on the head, you have to just basically assume that Hamas has something up its sleeve, and it may not be them alone. Maybe terrorists within the United States and other countries. So we're overdue for 9/11 again. So I'm just telling you that because you obviously know that because you're such a smart bunch of motherfuckers. And fuck you too. And fuck your mother. Fuck your father. And fuck your sister, fuck your brother. Fucky, sucky, sucky. Oh, that's another interesting feature. There was a man in Virginia when I was in training in Virginia. I did my training in 2010. You have to be trained. You can't work for the CIA unless you have some training. I was in Virginia, and he was telling me about a song that becomes kind of popular at times called Black and Yellow, Black and Yellow, Black and Yellow, Black and Yellow, Black and Yellow. Anyway, that's the song. It's just repeating the same phrase over and over. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Now the moral of the story is that may have some significance. Yeah. I put my analyst hat on. I put my operations hat on. I put my assassin's hat on once in a while. when I carry a gun. But I only do that on special occasions. Like, there was one time I was told to kill a man named Howard. Evidently who had found a way to, activate a tactical nuclear weapon that he stole, him and some other people, stole in the 60s. Yeah, from an Army National Guard munitions site. It was a tactical shell. Anyway, this has been secreted away for many, many, many years, and recently has been, dug up. So the moral of the story is that this thing's being dug up and it's still got any kind of power to it, you, my friend, may feel it. You may feel it with force. So, yeah, and then of course the United States becomes, hell. It's actually hell right now, but I'll leave that to your own judgment. If you think it's not hell, then you're a fucking goddamn fool.